Well, I was going to ask you too what the biggest challenge you've had to overcome was, and maybe
Well,
it's
that
like that way.
that was one of them. We didn't have infrastructure. We didn't have a warehouse. We survived that. Got a
How did you
warehouse.
survive that? How were you able to fulfill that?
Um, Barely. We were ordering things. The truck would show up in the building we're in. There was no place to put anything. Would lay boxes on the sidewalk. And I'd put things up online before we had it in the building, and they were selling out. We were a mess. To give you an idea, one night I went to Best Buy to get two more computers so we could have two more packing stations. And I recruited two of their workers to come work for us the next day. But what we also learned, that was all wonderful, and we hired people, we moved into a warehouse, and then we hit the summer. Turns out nobody buys socks in the summer. We're a very seasonal business. So by the end of the summer, we're running out of money. Fall comes. We now know the pattern over 7 years. We do more than 50% of our business in the last 2 months of the year, which is a hard way to do things. Our second year, we were prepared. We did very well our first year. We did over $1 million in sales. Our second year, we're prepared for, okay, let's build on that a little bit. And it turned out to be an aberration. We had another viral event, and then we had a series of media events. John had become sock buddies, if you will, with former President Bush, George H.W. Bush. That got media attention.
Sure.
When Mrs. Bush passed away at her funeral, which was broadcast nationally, the only communication the former president had was to tweet out a picture of the socks he was wearing that John had sent him. That led to a media frenzy. So we had a huge second year. We didn't realize how much of an aberration it was. We knew it was an aberration. We didn't know how much it was. So that really brought on a big challenge we had, which was capitalization. We had been bootstrapping. You want to grow, but growth is, in fact, expensive.
Growth sucks cash.
I remember sit with my accountant at the end of the second year and say, I don't understand. We are doing gangbusters. On paper, we're making a profit. How come I have no money? It's like, Mark, let's walk around your building. It's all that infrastructure. It's all that inventory. So by our third year, we barely survived, even though financially it looked okay. The revenues looked okay. What we were able to do was, after kissing a lot of toads, we found a prince of a partnership, third generation family business that manufactures socks for department stores and brand names. And we struck a deal which gave us both the manufacturing capability we needed and financial stability.
So probably better pricing too, yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of things that came with that. We're 4 years into that deal. We're now adjusted it some more. Originally, it was they would run things internally. John and I would be, the face of the company, go out promoting and doing, the speaking engagements, the podcast appearances. And now we've taken it back in so that we're running it day to day as well.